The partnership is developing hybrid rice Gyms Plasm that is adapted to African condition using the two-line rice hybrid system technology, which uses only 2 breeding lines to produce hybrids. The female line uses a temperature-modulated single-gene system, which is easy to breed, but requires significant skills and experience to get to the hybrid seed production. The male in this system can be virtually any other line, thus opening up significant opportunities for improved heterosis through genetic diversity in the hybrids.
This rice is a rice that has the seed production actually has is temperature dependent, and one of the places where we can do that development is Malindi, and but this, when we have the seed, it can be grown in any part of the country, but the developmental stage have to start here because of the temperature regime in the coast.
The partnership is also developing an information technology tool with interpolated weather surface to predict temperature regimes and manage two-line hybrid rice production risk, and also establish and train a network of researchers and seed production specialists interested in two-line hybrid rice.
Hybrids involves crossing 2 lines or 2 parents that are different. You cross them together to form a hybrid. What you get out of crossing them, it's a hybrid. So there's hybrid vigor because they are crossing 2 different things and come up with an offspring from that cross, and that is the hybrid.
The project will develop and distribute hybrids and hybrids parental lines for use by smallholder farmers in selected countries across Africa. The broad objective of the project is to develop and expand the two-line hybrid rice technology and ensure that through private companies and public institutions, the technology reaches farmers and increases their rice yields and income streams.
I think in all what we do, in every field, we aim to improve. Continual improvement will make us good in everything we do. So even in seed, we are also improving. From those even traditional ones, we improve them to make them these hybrids. So if some of those characteristics we are talking about, those lines, some we can start from those traditional ones and improve them to have the characteristics that we want. So we are not losing much, but we are just improving and getting better.
The project will help build the capacity of private farms to use the technology by training breeders and seed production specialists, especially testing the technology exchange network and providing other technology required to help ensure the success of the project. Resulting trial data will be shared by all in the network and the general breeding community.
Well, again, we have just gotten these hybrids registered for production with CAFIS. It's a long process. You do the breeding work, you prove it, then you have to get it registered. So a couple of years for that. Then you can start producing the seed for sale to farmers. So we are just in our first production season. So all the farmer exposure we've had is in demonstrations. We've sent out a significant amount of hybrid seed for farmers to test. It's gone very well, they're very enthusiastic. But in terms of selling seed, we won't do that until April, May, June this year will be our first time to sell seed.
Rice demand on the continent exceeds production, and Africa has been forced to rely heavily on importing large quantities of rice to meet demands at a very huge cost. Only a few countries in Africa have attained self-sufficiency in rice production, and as many as 21 of the 39 rice-producing countries import rice between 50 and 99% of their rice requirements. Sub-Saharan Africa produces 16 million tons of milled rice per year, but consumes nearly double that amount of 30 million tons of milled rice per year.
Currently, we have developed thousands of hybrids. We have about 250 to 300 that have been fixed, that we have tested. Currently, we have released 5 for commercialization in Kenya, passing through KEFIS and the Varietal Release Committee of Kenya. And these 5 varieties have been allocated to private seed companies who are already producing the seeds in Malindi and in Kisumu. And apart from that, the sustainability of the commercialization and the breeding is very important. Because of that, each of these private companies, about 4 of them, have recruited young men and ladies who have just graduated from the university and need a job, who are already been under training for the development of hybrid rice. Actually, they're in training for 2 years. They're going to be in training for 2 years, working for the company, and that has created employment for a number of youths as a result of that.
Africa's inability to reach self-sufficiency in rice is the result of a combination of several factors. In the rice industry, the continent suffers from low rice productivity, averaging 2.2 tons per acre against the global average of 3.4 tons per acre. This is largely caused by lack of high-performing varieties, poor seed systems that make it difficult for farmers to access certified and high-quality seeds, as well as the vagaries in weather brought about by climate change. The low productivity leads to high production cost that limits African rice farmers by making their products more costly and less competitive in the global market in favor of importation over local production.
I don't think we have enough land under rice to do that. If you look at the deficit, we would need to quadruple our yields, which is not going to happen. We need more land under rice. Probably going to have to, there'll be some more irrigated available, but we need to do more rain-fed rice production. These hybrids are very good under those conditions, so we think it will add some value there. But we're going to have more acres under production to become self-sufficient.
The hybrid rice projects aim to develop two-line rice hybrid and parental line in selected African countries to expedite farmer access to this product through private companies and public institutions in Africa for increased yields and improved income streams for farmers.
The hybrids are very productive in terms of yields, and if you compare with even old varieties that people are using, you can get even advantages of even 3 tons per hectare over and above the traditional ones. So you see, we are improving even our livelihoods or our standards of farming. If we can get even as high as 3 tons above the traditional varieties, that is a significant improvement in our farming.
In this region, rice is not a plant or is not a crop that is normally planted here. We held the first researcher and we held the first to start commercializing rice in the coast region. Yes, in Bura scheme we have small-scale rice productions, but we want to introduce them to commercializing this rice crop.
The project is already partnering with 10 seed companies in East Africa to enhance the sustainability of the hybrid rice system in Kenya and Tanzania.
We've already released 5 hybrids, and right now we are in the process of testing some more in the national performance trials, and we hope maybe we are testing like 8 now. We hope by the end of this year we'll have the data that we present to the regulator to release more.
As you can see here, we have different challenges. Water is a challenge. Sometimes, as you can see, the river is almost drying. We have to follow water far and like 200 meters so that you can get water in the field. So that's what I can say.
For what we have seen on the field today regards the hybrid rice, whether single line or triple line practice of hybrid rice, is something to replicate when we get to Nigeria.
The project has started working on developing of the next generation of more market-oriented products. The next generation demand-driven products includes aromatic parental line and hybrids which requires more time to develop. Such premium products will enhance profit margins for stakeholders along the rice value chain in Africa. During Phase 2, efforts will focus on technical backstopping, sustainable capacity strengthening for private seed companies, stewardship of technology, and best bet agronomic practices. Philip Keitany for The Next Frontier.